did you want to answer directly the question, I don't know, about, just briefly about the internal politics in Gaza?
Well, yeah, before 2006, before Hamas got the election and before people voted for Hamas, Fatah, the PA, were in negotiation with the Israelis for nearly 20 years to, you know, to come to Palestine or to come to West Bank and Gaza. And people didn't say anything about the process that they tried and the efforts that they tried really hard to negotiate with the Israelis. And suddenly, after Hamas and Fatah just got this kind of, you know, fighting between themselves, people, oh, the Palestinians among themselves, they are fighting right now. So who's going to support them? Where's the war before 2006, before Hamas got the election, before 2007 when this fighting started? Now, it doesn't make sense for Palestinians themselves. It's Hamas and other party. It's the same. I mean, like, we felt the same. For me as Palestinian, I felt like this is a Palestinian issue. You should look to the Palestinian case as it is. It's not as parties. They're fighting, it's true, but where's the Palestinian case of that? You didn't, I mean, not you, but many people actually. I give many talks. They leave the Palestinian case and they just go and talk about Hamas and Fatah as two parties fighting. We don't care. I mean, I'm Palestinian, I don't care. I care about my case as Palestinian. Who recognize me? Sometimes when I enter the internet to look for a website to register it as Palestinian, I don't find my country on the map. I don't find who's a man, like, I need to recognize it. I need people to recognize me. It's not interesting for me to talk about these two parties because they're just fighting their ideas. Sorry to say that, but I need somebody to recognize me as Palestinian, to recognize my passport, not stop me in the airport when I enter the airport and say, stop. It's happened with me. They stop me and let everybody enter. Are you Palestinian? Yes, I am. Where's the problem then? Okay, well, I need to check your bag.
Also, do you think the internal fighting is actually a symptom of the occupation?
Well, it is part of it, yeah. It's, you know, in every country, like if you want to control a country or replace 100%, you just send people to make it really, yeah.
Dividing rule, isn't it?
Divide these parties and then play this role, and then if they are divided, then it's easy to control it and then show to the other countries or other people, look, they are dividing. They are among themselves, they are fighting, so we can't do anything for them. They are useless. But what about before 2007? It's just a question. Like, my house is started in 2004. Nobody even looked about the 3,000 houses that destroyed at the same period from 2003 to 2004. They didn't look at it. People think that we got compensations from the Israeli government that because of our houses destroyed. We don't get anything. We stayed in the streets for nearly 4 years looking for a shelter. Sometimes sleep under a balcony, sometimes find another family to host us. But these things people don't understand here. Another thing that people really don't understand anything about it, that the equal power. We are not equal power with the Israelis. We have no tanks, no flight jets, we have no rockets. The rockets that most people talk about, Qassam rockets that they fired, which never reach any of the Israelis' cities. It's always in Sahara al-Naqa, which is the desert. That's not fair. I mean, I don't say that we should destroy the Israelis. They are people like us. If I born in Israel, I will have a feeling like, I born there, this is my home. I born in that place. I can't split myself with a home that I born in. It's like anybody in any country, like I born in UK, this is my home. This is what I feel. Like if I born in Tel Aviv, I will feel the same. Like I don't have any home to go. Like I will be a refugee to another country, but I born there. So it's another answer for the question to the first state, which I didn't understand. Like it should be a Palestinian state or an Israeli state. Who's going to control this state? Is it Palestinian and Israelis? Who's going to be the president? It's going to be a fight, another fight among themselves. And if we talk about the two states, is it going to be two equal states? Because most of people asked the same question before. Is it 50% from the land to the Palestinians and 50 to the Israelis? Is it going to be 50% from resource, water, electricity? The crossings, who's going to control it, the checkpoints, all of these things that people ignorant about it here, and doesn't take like an hour. It will not solve the Palestinian case, but it might give some points.
Obviously, just as a small point, you talked about, I mean, it's funny because a lot of people, there are some people with the idea that in America, I was talking to an American woman on the boat, not Cynthia McKinney, and she was saying that you talked about the resistance that you faced from certain minorities, and in America, they call them PEPs, progressives except for Palestine. There's a bit more of there's more conditioning on television about what's going on and trying to make out that it's more an equal party somehow, and equal things going on. I think that the problem is in terms of presentation of what's happening and the questions about Hamas. I've got some lots of PEP friends, and basically they say we can't deal with this because of Hamas or because of that time when I was in the West Bank. Most people just got on with their lives and just thought they were politicians, like and with a similar kind of irreverence, if anything. And yet some of the PEPs that I know here, they put Hamas up there, even though they're some more radicals who don't accept that parties represent us, as the representation of Palestinians and the Palestinian cause necessarily, or Fatah, for example. When actually it's about the Palestinian people, it's about a whole watch of people that deserve the same human rights as we do, and they're not getting them, and it's getting worse and worse, and it's happened over 60 years or more. And just like Ilan Pape said, who's the Israeli historian, who's obviously very sympathetic towards the Palestinians, he said that you can have, I'm going to show solidarity with the colonised without necessarily agreeing with some of the tactics used by those who have been elected to represent the colonised. And I think that this is the point, a great point I think you made, is about, it's a little bit of way off in terms of one state, two state. Two state is incredibly impractical at the moment in terms of the amount of the West Bank that has been destroyed by the wall and all the settlements. I mean, there's no contiguous state. Gaza can't be connected to the West Bank at the moment. The idea of a contiguous state, or one that's connected, the Israeli offering in 2000 at Camp David was about 4 different cantons. And Israel controlling the whole lot. Yeah. So they kind of get to each other there. So this whole two-state solution, you talked about proportional representation in the Israeli parliament, there's nothing that Israel has done in recent times that hasn't had whole agreements by all the major parties. All these massive war crimes are all massively endorsed by all the major parties in Israel. So there's no real, and obviously the Palestinians who are under Israeli mandate, that's 4 million of them, 2.5 million in the West Bank, 1.5 million in Gaza. Israel controls them, it's a military occupation. UN resolutions, countless of them, Israel's broken more than anybody else, have said it's a military occupation. So is Israel, so is Ariel Sharon before he died.
There was even an attempt recently to stop Israeli Arabs.
Yeah, even that, even this one card that Israel has, look at the 1 or 2 token Arabs, I think one of them's even called token.
Is it 20% of the population of Israel Arabic?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's still sorry.
So nothing like the representation, but they have a mandate over another 4 million that they're military occupying, who have no say whatsoever in any kind of democratic process of the people that are controlling their lives. So there is no proportional representation or anything like that over the key serious crimes that are taking place over there. Again, the practical side, there's all those things, decisions about one state, two state, but you were talking about so much solidarity could be more gained. Just general things we can do all the time about this. I think you said, Jenny, one thing that has to stop immediately is the siege of Gaza. They can't reconstruct their buildings, right?
Well, yeah. Something that I didn't touch on, so I was sort of focusing more